Hey, this is Tom Keifer, and you are listening to LA Metal Media.
LA Metal Media with Allie Jorgensen.
Hello, everyone. This is Allie Jorgensen with Allie Metal Media, and I am here today with former frontman of Cinderella, who has just released his second solo CD called Rise, and it is fantastic. Tom Keifer. Hey, Tom, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing really, really good. Just wanted to say, I just mentioned before that we just got word that Rise has hit number 10 on Billboard's Hard Rock Album Chart. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. That was some good news yesterday.
I had a chance to listen to the new CD, and it is truly great. There's so much passion in the lyrics and the music. And one of my favorites is Waiting on the Demons. Can you tell us a little bit about that song?
Yeah, that's a song that Savannah and I wrote, my wife, who I write with, all the solo stuff, and she's a member of the band. And it was an idea that she brought to me, and we always start with lyrics, and she had this thought or lyric about trying to cast your demons out, basically. So the song the verses are kind of a very dark place of what it feels like when you're struggling with your demons, and demons come in a lot of different forms, anything from you know addictions, alcohol, drugs, depression, anxiety. I mean, there's all kinds of things that weigh us down. I had a demon in my throat for years that I was waiting for it to die with my voice. So we wanted to write something that would kind of depict what it feels like to be in that place, which the verses do, and then offer some kind of encouragement to, that you can kick them to the curb, and find the strength. So the last line of the chorus, I think, is key when it says it's high time to kiss those demons a sweet goodbye. So it's kind of a light in the darkness.
It's such a powerful message, and your vocal performance on that song is incredible. There's so much emotion and passion in there. It's
Oh,
it's
thank you.
it's so hard to capture that live in the studio, and they.
We actually, that track is almost 100% live from the tracking session. There's very few overdubs on that. I think my lap steel solo and maybe Tony's electric guitar is the only thing that was overdubbed on that. That the vocal, the whole thing is like live right
That
off the studio floor.
that makes it so much more incredible, and the whole album actually has a really live, really band, incredible live feel. Did you guys want that, or did that just happen in the studio?
Well, yeah, no, that's actually what we were going for, because we've toured with this band for 6 years and we've had a great chemistry from night one when the band formed back in 2013, and that's just gotten stronger, and the bonds between us musically and personally have gotten stronger, and we've just toured relentlessly. So by the time we got into record this record, I mean, it was a real band with a real chemistry and a real history and a family. So we knew what we were able to, the kind of peaks of energy and that we've reached on stage, and we know what that feels like, and that's what we were really focusing on trying to capture in the studio. And like I said, with Waiting on the Demons, much of that, most of that was a live performance, and the rest of the album is very similar. I mean, we approached the songs as trying to not overdub them to death and actually go for performances. So much of the other tracks are the same way. The rhythm sections are just live off the floor, and even some of my vocals on some of the other songs are straight from the tracking sessions.
That's incredible. Yeah, it came out amazing. And you chose the song Rise to be the title for the CD, and the video is also amazing. Is there a theme to this CD?
Um, I think through I think through many of the songs there are. I mean, I would say not all of them, but many of the songs have a theme of finding strength within your adversity, um, and overcoming things. And I think that's a place that I've always written from. I mean, a lot of the Cinderella stuff, somebody save me, nobody's fool. It's you're in a bad place and you're saying, I'm not going to be anymore. So that's always been a theme in my writing. Savannah writes very much from that same kind of place, a place of encouraging people to find strength, because life's full of challenges. Life's full of beautiful, amazing things too, and we kind of face both each day. The polar opposites of life are the positive and the negative, which is why those signs are on the album cover. The negative and positive sign on either side of the word rise. And if you notice, the positive sign's a little higher on the record, meaning, we want to rise to the positive. So yeah, there's definitely a theme in that sense. And, as a band, we've gone through lived so much life together and touring together. We've watched each other all go through the highs and the lows, and we've kind of held each other up through that. And so we have a real bond. And I think it's definitely that bond is in the grooves of the record and the music.
Yeah, you guys really captured it, and it's such a powerful message. On the video Death of Me, you've got your TV screen and you're talking about all your issues, with your voice and the industry, and it seems like that it could be almost an anthem and kind of an inspiration to people out there to face their challenges.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I think the intent was for it to be an anthem, to not let anything hold you back, and whatever those things are, you can pull yourself up. We've all done it. I've been through it. You've been through it. Everyone has. And at the beginning of that video, to kind of just by way of example, because some of my challenges in life, from the voice things and the lawsuits and industry issues that I've gone through, and some health issues and stuff, we put those on that television screen by way of example, to demonstrate the kind of the power of, envisioning smashing your problems. So, but that, like I said, that's just by way of example, because fans are familiar with some of those challenges that I've had. But I really encourage anyone watching that video to envision their own problems on that screen and imagine destroying them, because that visualization of watching your challenges or struggles in life be destroyed is very powerful. And I got to tell you, when I took the guitar to that TV, it felt really good. So I think, we want to encourage people to, use that power of visualization, because it really is, it's strong.
Actually, yeah, you're giving me the chills right now. It's such a powerful visual, and the way you just took the guitar and smashed the TV at the end, saying "I'm done." It was incredible, really awesome. We caught your sold out show here at the Rose in Pasadena. It was a great night, a great show, and a great audience. And you played a couple new songs that night, "Touching the Divine" and "Rise." How is the reaction been to the new material on tour?
They've been great. We started touring weeks before the actual record was released, and from night one, the response to the three new songs we have in the set, "Death of Me" is also in the show, has been really, really pretty amazing. We've been kind of blown away. So.
I think you came out like with "Touching the Divine" that night, and everyone was just like, they were ready. They were all over it. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's I think by that show I think most of the video clips had been out, so people were starting to get familiar with the songs. But really, before we even released those videos, night one of our opening, our opening show, we had just released "The Death of Me" that day, but "Rise" and "Divine," nothing else was out yet. But they were really going over well. So that was cool to see. When you're playing something that people haven't heard at all, hearing it for the first time live, and they're responding to it, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys usually have such a very, very busy tour schedule, and you can encounter some really unexpected environmental challenges. Like we had some crazy, powerful wildfires that night. How do you keep your vocal health and your overall health on track while you're on tour?
It's pretty strict regimen, everything from health and diet and sleep and um, but all of that obviously because it's very physical and hydration because it's the shows are hot and I've had issues with that, hospitalized more times for that than I can really count. But so yeah, it's overall health and rest. But for me, with the particular voice condition that I have, the vocal warm ups before the show and the cool down after the show is very important to keep those vocal cords and breathing apparatus all kind of ready for the show and then calm down after the show.
Sure, absolutely. I'd like to go back to your first solo CD for a minute, "The Way Life Goes," and
Hmm.
talk about the amazing duet that you had with Lizzie Hale. She cites you as her main vocal influence. How did that duet come to be, and what was it like to work together?
It first started. We were out on tour for The Way Life Goes the first year in 2013, and we ended up on a bill with Hailstorm, doing some shows together. And uh, one thing led to another, and Lizzie and I ended up on the phone a couple weeks before the first show, and started talking about maybe doing a song in the encore together. And we picked "Nobody's Fool," and we did it at the first show, and then we did it at the next show, and the crowds were loving it. And singing with her is just, I know she cites me as an influence, but I would have to say she's been an incredible inspiration to me vocally because singing with her really makes you feel like you need to step up because she can sing. So it's you always walk out there when you're going to sing with Lizzie and say, okay, you know, I got to step up here. So she's a huge inspiration, not only vocally, she's a great guitarist, great writer, and just a great person. The whole band is. I really, really love Hailstorm and the music, and their band and our band are all good friends. So we did a bunch of shows together, and we always do that song whenever we play together, and it just was going down so well when we decided to do the deluxe edition for The Way Life Goes. We were kicking around ideas for bonus tracks, and that one was just kind of an obvious one.
Yeah.
And fans over the years, since we've been doing it live and they've been seeing it live, have been saying, "Please do a studio version." So we decided to do that one, and Lizzie was up for coming into the studio and recording it with us, and it was just a blast doing it, and very proud of it. I think it came out really cool.
It sounds great, and I've seen the live clips, and yeah, you guys just kill it together on stage. It's just amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, she's fun to sing with. She really is.
When you were facing all of your challenges vocally and in the business, how did you keep such a positive mindset?
Well, I don't know that I always did, but I tried. Definitely had my moments, but I guess if you look at the whole curve, I managed to stay on the positive side most of the time, which I guess is how I got out of it. Yeah, I mean, it's a hard thing to hear. I mean, in the early '90s, I was told when it took a couple of years for them to even come to the diagnosis. They were looking for more common issues on my vocal cords that would be easy to correct by surgery, and they weren't seeing any of those. So it was very frustrating because on one hand, I couldn't sing, but the doctors weren't finding anything. And then one doctor finally decided to run a different kind of test. It was neurological, and he said, "You've suffered a paresis," which is a fancy term for partial paralysis
Wow.
of your left side of your vocal voice box or cord. And I was told I was never going to sing again because there's no medical cure for it. They
Wow.
can't give you a pill or a surgery for that.
Sure.
And he said, your only hope is to work with, starting with speech pathologists, because it was even affecting my speaking voice, and kind of step from there to maybe starting to hold pitches and trying to retrain it. And it's not an exact science, and most people don't recover from it, but I just kind of stayed with it and just jumped from coach to coach to coach and learned as much as I could along the way. And it took, it took years to really find a system, I guess, if you will, of exercises and therapy that condition the chord to stay in place and function properly.
Wow.
And then that's part of what I talked about earlier. I mean, I do an hour of that before every show to kind of get everything lined up and get it working properly. So I'm fortunate and very grateful for the people I was able to work with, and that helped me to overcome that. So,
But it seems like you were really strong mentally. So many people, there's a lot of people out there, famous people, singers, that something like that hits them and they just quit. They just give up. You know, you never did that.
well, I certainly understand it. I mean, it was frustrating. It was not, you know, it was, but trust me, I had my moments.
That's,
I
well,
remember being in the studio cutting vocals on The Way Life Goes. I mean, because it was still kind of a nightmare even then when we were doing those. And Savannah was producing me vocally, and I remember taking mics and throwing them against the wall and just getting really frustrated. And she really was a calm in the storm through that, and got me through those vocals, and sat at the talkback button and talked me down and said, let's try it again. And really, you know, she really is responsible for, you know, most of what you hear on that record vocally. She was my rock through it all, producing those vocals. So
that's awesome. That's so incredible. Well, I guess, is there someone that's just starting out in the music business? It's so different now. Is there any advice you could give them, like how to survive the music industry?
well, it's you know, it's forever changing. But I think that the thing that doesn't change is that I think if you play what's true to you, if you write songs that are truly from your heart, and play what's the music that's inside of you, and not try to chase trends and just be authentically you, I think people respond to that. I mean, I think that's the every time I've been asked that question many times over my career, and that's always the answer that I give, because the industry is always going to change.
Sure.
And how people get their music obviously has changed drastically from when I first put out records. But at the end of the day, the music has to touch people. So be authentically you. Play what's you, what you feel. Don't chase trends, and just be yourself, and maybe you'll be the next trend.
That's awesome. Well, we are definitely excited to help get the word out about Rise. Do you have a favorite track on the CD?
They're all so different. It's hard to pick, because each one kind of has a different feel to it.
Sure.
I mean, if I had to just kind of pick one that's just a little bit off the wall, and it's not one of the singles, I really, I think we were all pleasantly surprised with how the song Untitled came out.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not like a traditional arrangement with like a big hook chorus, and it's more 70s jam kind of thing, and it starts in one place, and it's got that blues national steel in there, and it kicks into this, you know, that heavy riff, and it's just not a real traditional arrangement, shall we say. It's got much more of a, like I said, 70s jam feel, and then the out section just goes to a place that you don't even see coming. So
absolutely.
That was one that, you know, as we were making the record, when we took it in, I think even I was scratching my head. I'm not sure where we're going with this arrangement, but, you know, as the song, you know, took shape, I think everyone in the band would agree that it's one we've been pretty, we all kind of dig, but, you know, we like them all, you know, for different reasons. But I think that one's pretty unique.
Yeah, absolutely. It does stand out as very, very different. I mean, the whole album is so diverse. You've got your incredible ballads, and then you've got like Untitled, and it's just amazing. Well, we're running out of time here. I want to thank you so much for your time, and
Thank you.
I want to tell everybody, make sure you get a copy of this great new CD, Rise, and be on the lookout for Keifer Band coming to your town. Trust me, it is a show you do not want to miss.
Well, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.